a prison sentence or making them quote-unquote a drug criminal and giving them a record that can follow them for the rest of their lives. And I know there are people all over Pennsylvania who talk to me who have that problem. These are good people. These are people who are as good as perhaps the 3 presidents of the United States who have all said at one time or another over the last few years that they have done things that would have branded them drug criminals. So I think we've got a lot of support to end that hypocrisy, to in fact not ruin people's lives over an arrest for possession of small amounts of marijuana. But that too is work that we've got to do. We've got to turn that good amount of support that already exists for decriminalization into a law all across Pennsylvania. And then the third step of my reform plan is regulation and taxation, or legalization of marijuana. I have said that we should have done medical marijuana yesterday. Quote unquote, it needs to be done immediately. I have said that decriminalization should happen in 2015. I'd like to sign that part of this reform plan into law in the early months of my administration. And I've also said that as to the third part of the plan, we should put that into effect by 2017. Now, I've said 2017 because I think we have some work to do with building public support for regulation and taxation. I don't believe we're yet convinced a large majority of Pennsylvanians. It might be 50-50 tonight. But in order to win this battle and to change the law, we've got to probably do a little more than 50-50. I personally think my campaign is important to this whole effort. I am the only candidate who's providing detailed information on this issue. By the way, I'm pretty much the only candidate providing detailed information on this issue. Yeah. Gas drilling and energy, clean energy, whether it's a job plan, it's a job plan on my website. I have taken voters seriously.
Where did you buy your last house?
Sorry?
Where did you buy your last house?
Yeah, I think that's a reference to a particular issue in the news about a South Carolina purchase by the governor.
Maybe.
Maybe, right? Might have crossed my mind. So anyway, I've got plenty of information up on the website on lots of issues. But in order to turn the current state of the law, which is an assault on freedom and an assault on compassion, into what we want to accomplish, we have to win some elections. That's what makes lawmakers, and they get elected. And I think the governor's race in 2014 is essential to changing this law and moving forward. So I'm going to say a little bit about where we are politically, and then I'm going to stop and take questions, all right, and hear from you. So where are we politically? Well, we have an election in 2014. That's the good news, and it's an election for governor. And governors can get a lot done. They're not, however, emperors, but they can really change public opinion, and they can actually use a lot of leverage in order to get action and change laws. And I will be an effective governor. So there's a 2-step process in order to elect the next governor. And the first step is the Democratic primary, and that's May 2014. There are 8 or 9 candidates at this point, and very frankly, we need just 1 out of 10 Democrats, roughly a total of 400,000 voters, Democratic voters, to come to the polls in May 2014 and vote for me, and I will be the nominee. That's the man. 400,000 voters, Democratic voters. If they vote for me in May 2014, I will be the nominee. 4 million registered Democrats, but only 26% turned out in 2010. A total of 1.1 million registered Democrats bothered to vote in the primary. So it's a relatively small turnout, and it means people like you and your friends and your family really matter. Really matter. If everybody in this room got 10 more people to like the campaign on Facebook and come out and vote, you would have helped to change history of Pennsylvania. And if we can keep doing that, we can get to that 400,000 vote number. We won't be the best funded candidate or campaign, I can promise you that. But we can, in fact, win this by working hard for retail politics, social media, and by raising some money. I'm raising money, don't worry about that. But we've got that 400,000 vote number, something I want you to tell your friends about, because it's a So what you are here tonight about can in fact start happening as early as 2015 if we win the 2014 election. So all my information is at hangerforgovernor.com. We have, so it's Hanger, coat hanger, clip hanger, John Hanger. All right. Can't really forget that one. It's not Hangar, it's Hanger. HangerForGovernor.com. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/HangerForGovernor. We're on Twitter. We're doing social media. Join us in one or more of those forums. We post something on the campaign pretty much every day, either the Facebook page or at the campaign website on the blog. This issue is one that we talked about regularly and will continue to talk about. I will simply end by telling you one story about a mother and a child here in Pennsylvania. This child has major medical problems, and cannabis is the only thing that has helped the child. Because Pennsylvania makes cannabis illegal, this mother is no longer living in Pennsylvania, had to move to New Jersey. It is unbelievable to me that we are putting up with that kind of cruelty tonight here in Pennsylvania. We are literally denying sick people, sick children, medicine because it's quote-unquote cannabis. That has to end. I wish I could end it before I was governor. We're going to talk about it, and maybe Tom Corbett would have a change of heart. I'm not counting on that one, very frankly. I think we're going to have to win this election in 2014, and with your help, I will win this election, and we will have marijuana reform here in Pennsylvania. So thank you very much. I know you've got business, but I'd be glad to take some questions or hear some comments.
John, where is your campaign headquarters?
Well, yeah, I live in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and we're working out of Harrisburg and Hershey. So I'm campaigning, by the way, from a school bus. My number one issue is public education in schools. That is a critical issue. And next week I'm going to be in a school bus for a week, campaigning across Pennsylvania. We'll then by the end of next week in 61 of 67 counties. So this is not a one-issue campaign. It can't be if we're going to be successful. Very frankly, we've got to build a coalition. But you can be a very big part of this coalition. Questions or comments? Yes.
I've got those that say live in federally subsidized housing. Like someone can sell those,
Yeah, in terms of lease arrangements.
facilities, and if they had medical marijuana here, I'd be eligible for it. But the federal aspect is still illegal on the federal level. So how will that?
Yeah. Well, we all know that the federal government needs to get a change of spirit and heart of law, and we all know that the states are leading on this question. I want Pennsylvania to be part of that change. I can't fully answer your question tonight, just like there's some uncertainty in Colorado and Washington tonight, or California on these questions. We all know that there's a threat, and in some cases it actually turns into reality of federal drug agents raiding various shops and other things. So I can't fully answer that question tonight. What I will tell you is that when Pennsylvania does make these changes in the law, that will be a very big domino that falls. I think in some ways it will be more important to the change of federal opinion than, say, Colorado or Washington. Some people think Pennsylvania is slow to change. I'm actually here to tell you that Pennsylvania can change on this issue pretty darn quickly in the next proper leadership. You need a governor to lead, and I'm exactly ready to do that. Do we want one more or two more questions or comments?
Yeah. I've been studying this for about 2.5, 3 years, pretty short time. I was in Washington State to help pass I-502 last fall. Yeah, last fall. And the biggest hypocrisy to me is the whole, prescription drugs, alcohol, tobacco kill how many people per year. Marijuana, you don't have a recorded death or fatality or an overdose.
Right, no overdose.
And yet it's listed on the drug schedule as worse for you than heroin, no medicinal value.
Yeah.
Where did, I'm
Well,
just trying to
yeah.
understand the thinking there.
Yeah, I can't help you. It doesn't make any sense. That's why we're all here tonight. I unfortunately have seen people literally drink themselves to death. They destroy their livers. And it's far from a rare story. We all know that. So to treat cannabis in the way that it's treated under the law makes no sense. And by the way, we all know, at least I trust people in this room know, for decades and decades it wasn't treated that way. It's only been in the last really 40 years that cannabis was criminalized. And a Pennsylvania governor, at the request of Richard Nixon, led a commission, it was Governor Schaefer, a Republican governor, and he issued a report under which he recommended that cannabis or marijuana be criminalized, not be put on Schedule 1. That was a Pennsylvania Republican governor in 1970 saying it would be a mistake to make this treat this like heroin or cocaine or make it a criminal drug. And he clearly understood, I've read the report, he clearly understood the point that you're talking about, that compared to the harms associated with alcohol or nicotine, cannabis actually pales in difference. So, we're going to talk more about Governor Schaefer. We're going to educate Pennsylvanians about what that Republican governor in 1970, in a presidential commission report, a national report, recommended to the people of the United States. I wish Tom Corbett was like Governor Schaefer, and I want Pennsylvania General Assembly to be like Governor Schaefer on this issue. That's all we're asking. It's just common sense.